SpongeBob SquarePants is inspired by the yellow tube sponge. But unlike the real sea sponge, he has a square body and can move freely around Bikini Bottom. Despite having squid in his name, Squidward is actually based on a giant Pacific octopus. But unlike the real animal, he walks on land instead of crawling with his arms. Mrs. Puff is inspired by the porcupine pufferfish. And just like the real fish, both instantly puff up when startled. From the colorful world of Bikini Bottom to the real oceans that inspired it, many SpongeBob characters share surprising similarities with actual marine animals. Let's compare these cartoon residents with their real-life sea creature doubles. SpongeBob SquarePants, the cheerful yellow sponge living in a pineapple, is inspired by the yellow tube sponge. SpongeBob stands about 4 inches tall, while yellow tube sponges can grow up to 3 foot tall. Both have porous bodies filled with tiny holes that filter seawater. But SpongeBob has arms, legs, and a square shape instead of tall, tube-like columns. SpongeBob runs, talks, and plays, whereas real tube sponges remain permanently attached to reefs, quietly filtering thousands of liters of water each day. Patrick Star, SpongeBob's lovable best friend, is based on the pink sea star. Patrick stands about 6 inches tall, while most pink sea stars measure around 20-inch diameter. Both share 5 thick arms and the same pink coloration, although Patrick stands upright and can walk on 2 legs. Patrick spends most of his time sleeping under a rock, while real sea stars slowly crawl across the seafloor hunting shellfish. Mr. Krabs, the money-loving owner of the Krusty Krab, is inspired by the red ghost crab. Mr. Krabs stands about 7 inches tall, while the real red ghost crab grows to only around 2 inches across its shell. Both have bright red bodies, oversized claws, and long eye stalks that provide a wide field of view. Mr. Krabs runs a successful restaurant and is obsessed with earning money, whereas the real red ghost crab spends its nights scavenging for food along tropical beaches. Squidward Tentacles, despite having squid in his name, is actually closer to the giant Pacific octopus. Squidward stands about 10 inches tall, while the giant Pacific octopus can reach around 17 feet in length. Both have large, bulbous heads and flexible limbs. But Squidward has only 6 limbs, whereas real octopuses always have 8 arms. Squidward also has a long, drooping nose, while real octopuses have no nose at all. Squidward prefers a quiet life playing music, whereas real octopuses are intelligent, solitary hunters that solve problems and ambush prey. Sandy Cheeks, the adventurous scientist squirrel from Texas, is inspired by the flying squirrel. Sandy stands about 5 inches tall, while flying squirrels measure around 12 inches long. Both have fluffy tails, large eyes, and excellent climbing abilities. But real flying squirrels can glide using a membrane stretched between their legs. Sandy spends her life living underwater in a pressurized diving suit, whereas real flying squirrels live high in forest trees, gliding through the canopy. Larry the lobster is based on a real lobster. Larry stands about 14 inches tall, while large lobsters typically grow up to around 24 inches long. Both have powerful claws, segmented shells, and long antennae. But Larry has an exaggerated muscular upper body. Larry spends his time lifting weights, whereas real lobsters use their claws mainly for defense, hunting, and competing for territory. Mrs. Puff, SpongeBob's nervous boating teacher, is inspired by the porcupine pufferfish. Mrs. Puff stands about 8 inches tall, while porcupine pufferfish grow around 20-inch long. Both have rounded bodies covered with defensive spines that extend when inflated. Mrs. Puff inflates whenever she becomes frightened, just like real pufferfish, which puff up to discourage predators. Pearl Krabs, Mr. Krabs' teenage daughter, is inspired by the sperm whale. Pearl stands about 16 inches tall, while female sperm whales reach around 36 foot long. Both have large, square-shaped heads, rounded bodies, and wide mouths, although Pearl walks with 2 legs. Pearl spends her time cheerleading and hanging out with friends, whereas real sperm whales use powerful echolocation clicks to locate and hunt squid in the deep ocean. Plankton, the tiny owner of the chum bucket, is inspired by a planktonic copepod. Plankton measures around 1 inch tall, while real planktonic copepods are usually more tinier. Both are incredibly small compared to other sea creatures, but real copepods have elongated segmented bodies and multiple swimming legs. Plankton constantly schemes to steal the Krabby Patty formula, whereas real copepods drift through the ocean feeding on microscopic algae. Gary, SpongeBob's loyal pet, is inspired by a sea snail. Gary stands about 2 inches tall, while most sea snails are slightly smaller. Both have spiral shells, soft bodies, and 2 long eye stalks, although Gary's eyes are much larger than those of real sea snails. Gary behaves like a house cat, whereas real sea snails slowly crawl across rocks grazing on algae. Bubble Bass, the gluttonous rival of SpongeBob, is inspired by the green bass. Bubble Bass is about the same size as a real green bass. Both have broad mouths, thick bodies, and large fins. But Bubble Bass has exaggerated human-like proportions. Bubble Bass is constantly eating oversized meals, whereas real bass are active predators that hunt fish, insects, and crustaceans. Fred, the famous "my leg" fish, is inspired by the brown grouper. Fred stands about 10 inches tall, while brown groupers can grow around 30 inches long. Both have thick bodies, large mouths, and rounded fins, although Fred walks upright. Fred is often caught in chaotic accidents, whereas real groupers spend much of their time patiently waiting to ambush prey among reefs. Kevin Sea Cucumber, the arrogant leader of the jelly spotters, is inspired by the sea cucumber. Kevin is about the same size as a real sea cucumber. Both have elongated, soft-bodied shapes, but Kevin has arms, legs, and a face. Kevin is arrogant, sadistic, and constantly belittles those around him, whereas real sea cucumbers are peaceful marine invertebrates that spend their lives slowly crawling across the ocean floor. Harold, the blue fish frequently seen around Bikini Bottom, is inspired by the blue dogfish. Harold stands about 10 inches tall, while the real blue dogfish grows around 3 foot long. Both share a streamlined blue body, sharp teeth, and prominent dorsal fin, although Harold walks with 2 legs. Harold spends his days as one of Bikini Bottom's everyday residents, whereas the real blue dogfish is an active marine predator that constantly patrols the ocean in search of fish and invertebrates. SpongeBob may be a cartoon, but many of its characters were inspired by real sea animals. These real-life creatures make Bikini Bottom even more fascinating. Which character and real animal pair is your favorite? Let us know in the comments.